All right, welcome DOA players to my second video in my tip series for the card game Deaths of Athazar. This is Mark Dawson, the designer of the game. In the previous video, we went over the distribution of the characters in the deck. So now we are going to talk about what I call first, seconds, and thirds. And what that basically is how you're going to organize your hand after you are dealt your first hand. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take an example. I'm gonna go ahead and deal myself 5 cards. Now in an actual game, you're supposed to get 7 cards, but this is just for the demonstration. So these are the cards that I got randomly. And basically what I want to do is, well, what you would want to do is when you get a card with a white edge, which we would call the effect cards, particularly like the sorcerer, the prince, and the merchant. That is a card you want to keep. So if you have one of those, that is at least one card you are going to keep in your hand. I'll call these the first. All right. So anytime you have an effect card, you're going to use that first. You're going to hold on to that card first. You're not going to pass this card along during the pass phase. Then the second thing you want to do is, of course, you want to look for your killer cards. All right. So in this deck, I only have one right now. All right, which is the assassin. So these are my seconds. My seconds are my killer cards. So what I do is I try to determine which cards I want to kill off during my play phase. So I will use my assassin to kill this sailor here. So that will be my seconds. And then my thirds will be just the last 2 cards, which is the sailors. Now your thirds are the cards that you're going to pass during the pass phase. Okay, so that's a pretty much basic way to organize your cards. The reason why you get rid of the thirds is because they're not really that useful to you. Even though this is the sailor here, it doesn't necessarily have to be a sailor, but a lot of times the third cards won't be helpful to you when it comes to trying to eliminate the cards in your hands. So you always try to go with keeping at least one effect card, because you're going to need that to kind of keep eye on the other opponents on what they're doing. Okay. Let me just give another example here. Let me shuffle this a little more. Let me just go ahead and deal 7 so you can see. All right, so 7 random cards here. So let's look at what we got here. We have an archer, we have a warrior, we have another sailor, an archer, a sorcerer, and 2 more sailors. Okay. All right, so the first thing I would do is, like I said, always try to keep one effect card. So I'll keep this one. Now we have an archer and we have a warrior. No, we actually have 2 archers and a warrior. All right, now these are the killer cards here. So the firsts are very easy to do because, you know, if it just has a white edge and it can be used, you just hold on to at least one. But the seconds, you're going to have to try to determine which killer is probably the most effective and what they can kill. Okay, so I have like 3 sailors here. Now here are my choices here. This archers can only kill even numbers. All right, so basically this archer can kill this card, this archer can kill himself, and the archer can kill the sorcerer. But like I said, we're not going to kill off an effect card. Okay, you always want to remember. We always want to try to keep one. So we kill the archer can kill this warrior, or the archer can kill another archer. All right. So the thing that you want to do is you always want to try to make sure that you keep a killer and a prey pair in your hand. All right, for each killer that's in your hand. All right, it's not very good to have a killer kill another killer. I mean, even though that's the case, but if you have an opportunity to kill a card that this card can kill, you probably want to pair them up first. Okay, so archers can only kill even numbers. All right. Now this warrior can kill anything under 4. So this warrior can kill basically all of these cards here. All right. So what I would do is I would keep these archers to the side. I would use these as part of my seconds. No, part of my thirds, all right? And I will concentrate on the warrior because in this case, the archer really doesn't have anybody in my hand to kill. I mean, he can kill the warrior, but like I said, you don't want to try to have a super killer try to kill another super killer. So what I would do as my seconds is I would have this warrior kill this sailor, and then I would just go ahead and use these 4 as my thirds. All right, so this will be my first, this will be my second, and these will be my thirds. And remember, in your pool of thirds, these are the cards that you're going to decide who you're going to pass. If you have at least one killer in your thirds, try to keep the killer. Try to keep at least one. All right. So my choices now is the 2 sailors and the archer. All right. Now some people would think, okay, I have 2 sailors. I should pass the archer because on the pass phase, I might get like a magician, and a magician can kill off 2 cards that are the same at the same time. But that's least likely to happen on the pass phase. Most likely you're going to get a magician in the deal phase. But in the pass phase, your chances of getting a magician is very slim because most people use their own magician for themselves. So I wouldn't, pretty much try to hold on to a pair like this during the play phase. I will wait until maybe the deal phase to do that. But and that'll be another video actually. But during the play phase, when we're trying to decide, during the pass phase when we're trying to decide what to pass, you want to try to keep one killer. And even though you know that the odds of the next incoming card is not going to be a magician, you always want to kind of pass off the weakest card. So I will just go ahead and keep these as my thirds, these 2 archers and the sailor, and I will just go ahead and pass this sailor off to another player. Okay, and I'll just play with this. So when it comes to my turn, I have I have 2 basic choices to play. I can either play the sorcerer effect card and ruin some other player's time, or I can just do a basic kill, which is the warrior kills the sailor, and I'll just go ahead and keep these 2 archers and the sailor later. So these will be my first, these will be my second, and these will be my third. All right. Let me go ahead and do this again. See if I get some different cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Nah, that's not a good hand. Let me shuffle this. I want to try to get a hand where you don't get all the same cards. You want to get kind of different cards. And the reason why I'm getting the kind of cards I'm getting because this is a brand new deck, and I gotta shuffle it really well for it to be like a really good. Okay. All right, let me just cut in. Boop. Boop, boop. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. All right, so this turn. Okay, all right, this is a little better here. All right, so we have a wise man, a prince, a sorcerer, a brawler, a sailor, a djinn, and a wise man. All right, so this is your first hand. All right, so let's start with the firsts. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have actually 5 effect cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we have 1 killer card, and we have a detrimental card, which is the djinn. All right. So for right now, we're just gonna set the djinn aside. I mean, you can't pass the djinn anyway, and there's none of these cards can kill off the djinn. So this is a card we're just gonna have to be stuck with. So we'll just go ahead and put that a little bit to the side. So when it comes to the effect card, you want to try to, you can decide which effect card you want to use, either the sorcerer, the prince, the wise man, or the wise man. All right, now just think about the wise man's function is if you don't have a lot of good cards in your hand and the wise man is used, you can use the wise man to take another card from the deck. Okay, so I would not consider a wise man as one of my effect cards that I'm going to hold. Whereas the sorcerer and the prince are actually does damage to other players. So my choice of effect is going to be between these two. Depending on who is in the lead of the game, after I look around, I would decide whether to use a sorcerer or prince. But on the first deal, all players, I think I would just go ahead and make my prince the first. All right, and so my prince will be part of my first. And if I don't have, I will just go ahead and take a sorcerer. So remember, you always want to keep at least 1 effect card. Okay, so these would be my firsts here. All right, and we have a brawler and a sailor. Now a brawler kills a sailor, so this is actually at least 1 kill in the game. And then we have the djinn, of course, which you can't pass. We're kind of stuck with him. And so my wise men here will be my thirds. Okay, so these will be my first, these will be my second, and these will be my thirds. And actually the djinn, I guess because you can't pass it or anything, I'll just go ahead and put that in the third pile. So when it comes to the passing, it's going to be between the 2 wise men here, okay? Because when I finally get another card coming in, whatever that card is, I can use the sorcerer for that card. So like say if somebody passes me brawler or sailor or whatever card, I can always make a kill on my first turn, and on my second turn I can use my sorcerer plus the other card that's coming in as an effect card on my second turn, and I can use my prince or on my third turn. Or I could do it vice versa. I could use my prince on my second turn and use my sorcerer on the third turn. Okay. So this would be my setup, and this would be my strategy for deciding which cards to pass. All right. So try to keep at least 1 sorcerer card, 1 effect card, have 1 kill, and then the thirds would be you're going to decide between your thirds who are you going to pass to. All right. Very simple. First, seconds, and thirds. All right, I'm going to do this one last time just to demonstrate. Now, if you are a DOA player, you probably know this information already, but this is for people who are kind of new to the game. So let's see where we have here. We got a prince, an assassin, a hunter, a brawler, archer, another hunter, and another djinn. Okay, so we kind of have another, we're stuck with another djinn again. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to decide our firsts. And our firsts are going to be one of the white cards. All right, these are your white cards here. So these are your white edge cards. So we have a prince and two hunters. And then over here we have an archer, a brawler, and an assassin. Okay. All right, so it's very important to kind of like do like just a quick overview of what you're trying to do. Because remember, the object of the game is to get rid of the cards. So you want to try to do something to get rid of your cards. Now, hunters are good for that. All right, so of these three effect cards, of course, we're going to make our prince a first. Okay. And we're going to, so that's at least one effect card. And even though we have two hunters, we can't pass, well, we can pass a hunter plus another card, but you don't want to pass two hunters together. All right, that's, I don't know, you might, that would be a bad move, because if you pass two hunters to your opponent, first of all, he may have a magician and he can get rid of your two hunters, but you want to hold off on at least one hunter just in case on the next round that your opponent is he has reduced his hand to like one card. You want to kind of hold one off just so that you can stop him from winning the game. All right, so this hunter will go into my first. All right, then we have to decide which cards we're going to kill off. Okay, so since the djinn is a card that we cannot pass, we have two cards that can kill the djinn, the assassin and the archer. So in this situation, archers kill even numbers, an assassin kills all numbers. So when you're in a situation like this, if you have an even, have the archer kill the even first. All right? Save the assassin for later cards that could be coming later into your hand. Because if you have the assassin kill the djinn, which is fine, but in the next round, you may get a card that's an odd number, and this archer would be totally useless for you. So we just want to go ahead and have the archer kill the djinn as one of our seconds. Okay? And then we're kind of left with our thirds here. All right? So here we have an assassin, a brawler, and a hunter. All right? And these are the three cards you're going to decide what to pass. Now, of course, this is a fairly easy one. If you have a hunter and a brawler, you want to keep the assassin, because the assassin has the ability to kill any card. So you probably want to make these two cards the one you pass. Okay. So I hope that that clears up the basic strategy of first, second, and thirds. You always want to try to keep at least one effect card. All right, they make those your first, and then try to match up a kill, because this is the card you're going to start off with when you first take your turn, and then you're going to put your thirds. You're going to put your last cards down at the end, and you're going to decide between those what you're going to pass, and based on the strength of those cards, you're going to decide what to pass. All right. And that is the end of our second tip of the day. If you have any more questions, just go ahead and put your comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And go to our online store. We are now selling the deck at a 20% discount until May 25th, I believe. Yeah, May 25th. So just go ahead and get your deck and have some fun with family and friends. I'll see you in the next video.